Hi, this is Arthur from TTN Today I'm going to share a little introduction about the Epistle of Philippians, and then the planning is to stay together, go through this book verse by verse, and see the things that the Apostle Paul will be teaching us. Let's just read Philippians chapter 1, verse 1. Paul and Timothy, bondservants of Jesus Christ, to all the saints in Christ Jesus who are in Philippi, with the bishops and deacons. As we can see in verse 1, this letter is written by the Apostle Paul, and it was addressed to the Philippian church, or Philippi. And just to refresh our minds, according to Acts 16, Philippi was the first city in which the gospel of Jesus Christ was preached. That is in Europe. According to Acts 16, we can read about how the church, the Philippian church, was established. Acts 16 informs us of the vision that Paul had in the night. He saw a man of Macedonia in Europe. Then we read how Paul and Silas went, and in Philippi they found a group of women who had met together for prayer by the river. As you can maybe remember, or if you don't remember, read Acts chapter 16. The Apostle Paul, together with Silas, they were trying to preach in Asia, but every time they were hindered by the Spirit. And then the Apostle Paul received a vision where he saw a man inviting them to come to Macedonia and to preach. So not long after that they left, and they went to Philippi, and this is where they started. They first met a group of ladies that were meeting at the river, most likely where they were doing the laundry or washing. This is where they had a regular meeting, and that's where the Apostle Paul met them and shared about the gospel. And this is where Lydia, where she got saved and gave her heart to the Lord. And then after that, we see that the demon-possessed girl was following them, the Apostle Paul, and shouting loud and saying, this person is preaching the Most High God. And the Apostle Paul was getting fed up, and he cast out a demon, rebuked it, and commanded it to go. And that lady was set free from the evil spirit. And of course that caused a lot of problems, because the business people there were earning a lot of money through that lady, and that's why they threw Paul and Silas into prison, because that's no good. This person is dangerous. We're losing a lot of money because of him. So they threw him in prison, and that's where the Apostle Paul started praying and praising the Lord. Remember that passage? And as they were doing that, an earthquake came, and all the doors in the prison flew open, and the chains were broken. And the prisoners could have escaped if they decided to do so, but instead they stayed there. And at the same time, the jailer, who thought, as he saw that the doors were open and that he thought that the prisoners were gone, he was ready to kill himself, but the Apostle Paul said, no, wait, we're still all here. So this jailer, in short, he gave his life to the Lord, and it says in the passage that he and his whole household were saved. So that is most likely the church that the Apostle Paul is writing to. Let's just read the notes here. After that, Paul and Silas went to prison because of the people who was making money through a demon-possessed girl. While in prison, there was an earthquake, and the chains of all prisoners were loosed. So that is how the church was established. This is probably the first group, and maybe they're still in that church, but I presume it's bigger by that time as he is writing. But most likely they exist out of the jailer and his family, and Lydia, and probably the demon-possessed girl. That is the way the church started, and that's probably where he's writing to. And we have to remember, as he's writing this epistle, he's writing it from Rome. This was just most likely before his death, but it's not exactly sure. But it was in Rome, and he was in prison, in a dungeon. And the funny thing is, the theme of this epistle is one of joy. The theme of the Epistle of Philippians is one of joy. Joy in the Lord. So even though we have a dungeon and our problems and our issues, the Apostle Paul will be teaching us in a practical way how to experience joy even though you're going through hardships. This letter teaches us in a practical way how to have and experience joy. Please remember, when Paul was writing this letter, he was in a dungeon in Rome. Not a very pleasant place to be. However, again and again we'll be instructed how to have joy and experience joy while facing hard times. Now, as we go through this epistle, we will be facing and dealing with the following questions. What is life? What is death? Meaning of justification by faith, doctrine of resurrection, what does it mean to be glorified, the meaning of real prayer. This book is full with central Christian doctrines and yet very practical. I'm looking forward to study this book verse by verse, go through it verse by verse, and to get things out of it so that we can, although we face our problems and our issues, so we can say, just like the Apostle Paul was saying, although he was dungeon, he can say rejoice all the time. Looking forward to explore together, learn from it so our lives may be changed and transformed, so we may experience joy in the Lord at all times. Looking forward to see you. God bless you. Bye.